Okay, good evening councillors, good evening members of the public. Welcome to this evening's Highway and General Purposes meeting at the Barn Green Room at the DCC. It's 6 o'clock on Wednesday the 11th of February. Okay, item 1 on the agenda is apologies. Councillor Berry, how are you? There's any apologies just from Mr Councillor Snellgrove? Okay, so no apologies from Councillor Harrison. I wonder if he knows it's 6 o'clock. Okay. Item 2 on the agenda is declarations of interest. Arising from this agenda, members and officers are invited to declare any relevant interest. Notwithstanding this item, members may subsequently declare an interest at any point during the meeting. Do we have any declarations of interest from councillors this evening? No. Item 3 on the agenda is minutes of the previous meeting. To receive and confirm the accuracy of the minutes of the Highways and General Purposes meeting held on the 12th of November 2025. Thank you, Liz. Have you all had a chance to have a look for all those that are present, apart from Councillor Betts?
I'm okay with it.
You're all happy? Yeah, all happy for me to sign? Can I have a quick show of hands, please? Thank you. Thank you very much. Item 4 on the agenda is the Highways and General Purposes Committee Project Report. To receive and review the project report from the committee clerk. Myself and Liz, we sat down recently, haven't we? We've gone through the project report and we're pushing things in the right direction. I think we're trying to bring things to committee so that we can get them signed off, etc. Anything else to add, Liz?
Has anybody got any questions?
Yep, yes, sorry.
Yeah, I'd like to say that it feels like it's been scaled down and things are moving, so my thanks to you, Liz and Martin, because I think things are moving, particularly the Zen Bridge that I know has been a bit of a task, but I see that's on the agenda. Thank you.
Other councillors happy? Yeah, okay. Item 5 on the agenda is public participation. The meeting will recess for not more than 15 minutes to allow any members of the public to address the meeting in respect of items on this agenda. Members of the public? Good evening.
Good evening, councillors. I'm here to give you a report on behalf of County Councillor Stallard with regards to Forest Road carriageway repairs. Residents have received a letter this week to say that there is imminent highway maintenance taking place on Forest Road. They will are due as planned to start on the 16th for 5 days. I think it may well be weather depending. During which time Forest Road will be closed to vehicles from the junction with Irvilles Road, which is up by the Chairmakers, all the way down to Southwark Road, so the whole length of Forest Road, this half. Will be closed from approximately 9:30 a.m. until 3 p.m. and the road will be open during the evening. It does say these timescales are weather dependent, so they've already been delayed once, so watch this space, although I think there are signs out now. Any significant changes to the scheduled dates will be made clear on the yellow signboards, although the dates on the signboards are actually incorrect currently. In order to help them complete the work, no one is to be parked on the road. I don't think anyone is no one is stupid enough to park on that road because your car will be taken out. They are unable to guarantee vehicle access to residents during that time. So may I ask that the parish actually does a notice on Facebook, please, to advise residents that if they wish to leave the village, they need to get their car outside of that closed area during that time period, because otherwise they'll be shut in, potentially. Pedestrian access will always be available though. There is a QR code. I have done a Facebook post.
Seen that, yeah.
So if you can look up my Facebook post, there is a QR code on there where residents can get more information. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is that alright, Liz? Yeah, we can use that one. Ian?
Evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm interested in
Item 6 on the agenda is the fixed speed camera. Listening to your discussions on it. Your discussions on community speed watch, which I ran for about 8 years. So if you have any questions that come up from it, I'm quite happy to answer anything. And also the pedestrian bridge at River End. I see your information you've had back from Hampshire about the drain, or the river that they think it is, but it is a drainage ditch. It doesn't go anywhere. So that may influence your, they're keen to have a replacement bridge put back in, but what was suggested I think makes more sense and is a lot more sustainable in the long term. One last thing, I'm interested to hear your discussions on your postbox, your letters to heaven. I see that in the information that you're intending to shred them. Some stuff is obviously not compostable, so anything glitter or anything like that, which people may well put in their letters.
Yeah.
So you will have
Staples and yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I'll close the public participation session. Happy Liz? Thank you. Okay, back to the agenda. Item 6 is the yellow fixed speed cameras. The Police and Crimes Commissioner has advised the funding is still available for yellow fixed speed cameras up to the value of £20,000. The estimated cost to the Parish Council for the installation of one yellow fixed speed camera would be in the region of £90,000. Additional information is with the supporting documents to discuss and determine action. Have you all had a chance to have a little look at this? Just to give you, for those that might not be aware, I've had a discussion with the RFO regarding budget and whether or not we will be able to find funds. She is of the opinion that no, we haven't budgeted for such a device, and it's quite a stretch for the council to try and reach those figures. Just to give you a bit of background onto that. Have a look. So yes, the estimated cost for the local authority for installation of one yellow fixed speed camera would be in the region of £90,000. There is also plus annual servicing and maintenance costs, £10,000 per year to support ongoing servicing and maintenance, plus a reoccurring annual staffing cost of £55,000. So that is £65,000 per year cost, which is quite a lot. We did some figures, and to get a return on that, you would need at least 650 people to be caught, as long as they reach the criteria for a £100 fine and 3 points on their licence, etc. That would help generate some revenue. The question is, would all that come to us, or would it go elsewhere? So what benefit is it to us to having them, other than a deterrent, and then to increase safety? What would we get in return? Go on, Councillor Betts.
One clarification.
Yeah, go on.
The 55,000 wouldn't be specific to any cost. So that cost would be shared across multiple speed cameras. So in order to recoup the cost, it would be less than that. It would still be a lot, but just to bring on.
Other councillors, any comments? What's your feelings? I think it's because of the budget and the finances and the cost to council at this time. My thoughts is I don't believe we can pursue it any further. Councillor Ranger?
There's also been some supporting documents in terms of feedback from residents as well, I believe, on this particular item. I've seen 2 or 3 specific people that couldn't be here this evening.
Yeah, they were circulated previously.
Just making sure that everyone saw that as well, Chair. That was
okay.
Because there were some quite detailed explanations for their views, good or bad, for people that wrote into the council that couldn't be here this evening as well.
Okay. Councillor Betts?
So I also, as much as I think we should do everything we can to stop people speeding, I'm not sure that this is the appropriate use of funds. I don't think so. It's not just about what we get back, because what we get back you could prevent a fatality, which is that's worth it. But I don't think we have a spot that meets the fatality criteria, or I don't think we have, to my knowledge, anything that would meet the additional funding requirements. And then the funding would even cover the whole cost. So I think it's a bit of it's a difficult decision to make, because you're making a decision against having speed something that would help people, but it doesn't seem to be an effective use of resources.
No. Okay. Councillor Vickers and Councillor Berry.
I sort of agree, because I think you can't put a cost on somebody's life, and it's a difficult decision. But I think about, do we have any specific black spots in the village that we would, if we had sort of areas that were really concerned. I think Forest Road was a concern, and now they've put the
Speeding measures in, yeah.
So there is that. I can't think of anywhere that is specifically, unless I'm put right, and I'm sure I will be if I'm wrong.
Hambledon Road would be if the conditions of the road surface were better, but at the moment that actually plays to some of our advantage, that people have to slow down and slow. It's the straightest road.
It's the straightest road, but you know, I'm not necessarily convinced, if I'm honest. It's such a lot of money, and such, when the council has other things that they have to do. So I think in the future, if the RFOs, you know, start to prepare for such a finance, we could consider it into the future. It's a difficult one, because I think you're basing them around, you know, one accident is.
I would like to go with them. They're a good idea. I think they're good. I mean, they recently put them along the Meon stretch, which Dropsford, etc. There's the big long poles they've got up there, which is Oh, they're average, are they? I thought they were proper council ones. But if budget wasn't an issue, as the RFO has said in finances, then I would say yes. Councillor Berry, sorry.
Yeah, we looked into it, and you don't get any return from it. So we said it'd be a waste of taxpayers' money at the moment, because it's too much. And of course, the ongoing concerns then is finding the money to keep it running then.
So, Councillor Ranger.
I think, whilst in isolation, I think on its own, it's probably an expensive, I wouldn't say luxury, because you can't put luxury on a particular life or any lives, but I think it's part of a combination of things. And I know that we've got another agenda item, in fact, straight after this, in terms of Speedwatch. My concern would be that if you spent money and installed a fixed camera, then it wouldn't take long for people to work out where it is, and therefore they'd slow down because they know where it is, like some people do, and they would speed up after 100 yards past the camera. So it's and that's exactly what people do along the Meon Road, which is having a speed camera, as the public suggested. So I'm not personally in favour of this as a cost item. And also, I think that we need to look at what other areas are doing, because I think there's some lessons to be learned from maybe some of the other parishes. And speaking with the Beat Bobbies on Sunday outside the co-op, Steph and I can't remember the other lady's name now, whilst they were very keen to obviously help everybody reduce the speed, because that's what they were doing, even though they didn't suggest it directly, they suggested that perhaps there's more of a community aspect in helping everybody drive the speed a bit lower, as opposed to a fixed camera, because I was asking them specifically about how many do they see, and etc., just to get some feedback, because I wanted to understand. So I think in isolation, I don't think it's the right thing, but as part of a speed package, whatever you want to call it, including the Community Speedwatch programme on the next agenda item, maybe it's something that we look at as a whole item. But in this particular case, I think the cost outweighs, in most respects, for this year anyway, the benefits.
Okay.
Just be
Councillor Betts, yeah.
useful to understand, to contextualise the cost of other things that you can do for speed, so pedestrian crossings, you know, the warning lights, and you know, things like that. I know that we just had the Forest Road upgrade, but this just seems so outrageously expensive.
Quite a lot, isn't it? Yeah. And the RFO's recommendation, I think, would be quite silly to go against. So if debate is finished, I would like to make a proposal that we don't pursue this item at this time.
Second.
Second. Show of hands, all in favour, not to pursue. That's unanimous, thank you. Okay, yeah, and on to item 7, which is the Community Speedwatch now. So the Community Speedwatch is a locally driven incentive supported by Hampshire and the Isle of Wight Constabulary, where active members of the community monitor speeds of vehicles at specific location using speed indicator devices. Information provided in the supported documents to discuss and determine action. So yes, this has been going as a member of the public, ex-councillor Ian Brown mentioned, for 8 years. Was it Ian? 8? Yeah. For 8 years, we've previously done this incentive.
Going longer.
Longer.
Around it beforehand.
Okay. So I'm going to go straight in, and I think it's something that council should continue to do, and I'd like to look into it a little bit further. I'd also like to reach out, if council is of the mindset to continue it, that perhaps we reach out to other groups in the community, such as Neighbourhood Watch perhaps, to seek some volunteers and get other organisations involved with this to help promote. Obviously with this you'd have to go off for training, you have to have a registered coordinator, which I'm happy to do. How does council feel? Something they wish to continue? Councillor Ranger?
Yeah, I think I would agree, Chair. I think that now that we are slightly more fortunate in terms of having a few more councillors in the council as well, I think that would help in terms of spread the load, but also I would concur that in terms of the whole community aspect, I think it's the right thing to do, and I for one would support looking into it further with regards to how we do it, who does it with, got volunteers, training, etc., because I think it's the right thing to do for the village, in my opinion, and as a result I would wholeheartedly support the idea of reigniting it, if that's such a word, in terms of the Speedwatch, because it's been dormant for a while because of various reasons that we've already previously discussed. So yeah, I think it should come back, and we should explore the options.
Good. Are you happy to make that into a proposal? Unless other councillors wish to debate further. I would give you some more insight, but I wasn't involved at the time when it was run on council previously, so I can't really give much of a background. If council's happy, I'll open the public session so that Ian can speak to us and give us a bit more background on it, because he might be able to do so. Yeah. Ian?
It's never been run by council. It's not council initiative.
Okay.
It was always run by people. Yeah, Paul and I did it. There were about 6 of us at one point who did it. You have a minimum of 3 people at a time.
Yeah.
One coordinator really. Basically, when you get the data that you take in, you fill it all out on a form. You get as much information as possible. You fill it out and then send it into the police, and they deal with it. You then send the paper copies via Liz would send them through to the police.
And would they listen? Like the Speedwatch devices we have. I know we've not had great luck with them before. Was this incentive slightly different, where the police would actually take on board that data?
The police do take the data and they give a report back. There's a monthly report that comes back with all the areas that do it, and gives statistics back from all different areas, so you can see what areas are getting, how many people are getting caught.
You have to submit the data within a couple of days of doing the Speedwatch session.
It literally has to be within 2 days.
Right, okay.
So that it's up to date data.
Current, yeah, sure. Councillor, yeah. Yeah, Councillor Rebecca's.
What's the sort of agreed frequency, or is it how many is there a recommended frequency of how often you do it?
So the people down on Hambledon Road do it once a week.
Right.
Not part of.
No, they're not part of Hambledon, no, Newlands.
Newlands, sorry, yeah.
So they try and do it once a week. We try to do it once a fortnight, but obviously with us doing our house renovation, it was then once a month, and then the volunteers dropped off, and it ended up just being us two trying to find another person to do it, because you're not allowed to do it just
So you can sort of agree your own.
Yeah, you can do your own schedule.
Yeah, I read that in here. You can dates, locations. Yeah. and set
any
up.
time. There are set locations that are already
Yeah.
set up around the village, and you have to go to those locations. You can't just go anywhere because there has to be certain.
There's criteria. There's a 100-metre stretch of road in a straight line. No, the road surface has to be good. It can't have corners, etc., etc. So, yeah.
It's a deterrent, so you're not supposed to jump out on people.
No.
Also, we started off using a sign on a tripod, which was quite cumbersome to put up. The latest version is it looks like a hairdryer,
Yeah.
and it records the speed. It's a lot easier to use.
Liz might know. Do we have equipment for this? We still have it. Fine. Thanks, Ian. Councillor Ranger?
Yeah, thank you. Maybe we should also engage with, before we, I recognise obviously it's a community event as opposed to a community action group as opposed to a council.
I keep saying
action
council all the
group.
time. It's force of
However,
habit, but yeah, no, you're
It
right.
would be worthwhile checking in with the local representative police as well to make sure that they're obviously aware of what we're doing and why, because they may have some up-to-date knowledge about whether it be equipment, whether it be locations, etc., etc. So I think more collaborative with the local staff. And
So we spoke to Stephen Son. Yeah.
I did speak to her about it on Sunday, and she's expecting us to knock on the door if, depending on how this discussion goes. So she wouldn't be averse to that.
It is a police initiative and you will be trained by the police too.
Yeah. But I think the only point, sorry, we're talking openly here,
Yeah,
so
it's fine.
but she did say that there's a backlog of training and it's months. So I just want to set, or she wanted to set the expectation that it's not something that you can in a week or two. She's talking months.
But that gives us time to
That's
look into it
okay,
further then.
We should be aware of that, that's what I'm saying. We should involve her
Yeah.
accordingly, which I think is the right thing to do anyway.
It was a thing that you had to go to Bishop's Waltham police station and actually do it in the station. You watch the video.
Still is.
Because that's our, yeah.
They did change it to an online one, so it was you didn't have to actually go somewhere.
So I think,
Councillor Vickers and Councillor Betts, please.
So how
Sorry, I didn't
would we sort of engage the public then? Would that be through a Facebook post, or how are we going to sort of garner volunteers and put it out there? Is my question, because we've obviously got a little bit of time given what Councillor Ranger has said. How do we
So
engage
that's
the
pretty much the idea I had, was reaching out to some of the local groups to see if they've got any volunteers that would like to come forward, and also social media to see if anyone answers the call, and then
Because I
we
think
can add their
people
name
feel
to.
quite passionately about speed and litter and social things for the village, so I think there would be, but it's getting it out there, isn't it? So I'm sure this could juice something up if you're able to. Yeah.
use something else.
Yeah. Well, make it slightly more appealing than, like, not make it as dry as it might seem. So just to get people, because I do think people are really passionate about sort of things like this. But it's getting it out there.
I will ask you, Ian, is that what we used to do? How did you approach, how did we get members on board?
Until recently, there was actually a sign outside this door looking for volunteers.
Right.
I think most people just walk past it most of the time.
Okay.
Facebook is an ideal one because
Yeah,
it does
okay.
get out to the wider community.
And Safer Neighbourhood Forum as well, we advertised it there.
Okay.
Thank you.
You might want to close the session.
Yeah, I was going to say we're closing the session.
Okay, yeah, we close that session again then, thank you. Councillor Betts, did you?
Thank you, reminder. Just timely reminder.
Councillor Betts? Yep.
Just something.
No? Fine, okay.
Proposal?
Yes, proposal. So I propose that we look into this further, explore it more,
Absolutely.
with the impression that we undertake it, we revamp it, and we bring it back.
Second that.
Okay. Councillor Ranger second. Show of hands, all in favour? It's unanimous. Thank you. Okay. Item 8 on the agenda is Creechview Play Area Bin. A resident has contacted the Parish Council about a bin in the play area at Creechview, which is regularly overflowing. Head groundsman has arranged for the bin to be emptied by the grounds team. The resident has asked if a dog bin could be sited next to the play area to discuss and determine action. So I think this is a no-brainer, really. A dog bin situated next to a bin that currently gets emptied by the ground staff. It's in demand by residents, probably other users. If a bin's not there, what do they do with dog mess, etc.? Budget-wise, yes, it can be done. Already checked, so we can cover a dog bin. Councillor Vickers.
I agree, I walk around them every day and it is, people are putting it round as well rather than putting it in, so I think it's needed. When I saw the agenda I went round, it is needed. There's a lot of children that play in that area.
Speaking with Sam, yeah, they can add it to their normal routine as they do with the others. So I think they're pretty happy. So I propose that we go ahead with this and we put the placement in as a dog bin. I'll show of hands. Seconder, please. I don't know who was first, so should we do Councillor Bet seconds? Thank you. Show of hands, all in favour? That's carried. Thank you. Unanimous. Okay. Item 9 is the pedestrian bridge, River End to Old River. Hampshire County Council have responded to our application for an ordinary watercourse lands drainage consent. If the parish council decides to pipe the ditch lands drainage, consent will be required. Their preferred solution would be for a replacement with a similar structure, a clear span bridge, which retains an open ditch, information supplied with the supporting documents. So yeah, as briefly just read out then, they've come back and they said the like for like would be a preferred solution for the replacement. Do we all know where this bridge is, by the way? Councillor Betts is now just quickly Googling. So it's not too far, it's just behind the school, perhaps.
I think I do know where it is.
Yeah? Sorry? Leads to the allotments, if you will, perhaps. Yes? Yes, okay. So yeah, it's in need of being repaired. It's been raised as a health and safety issue. So considering that, it needs to have some attention done to it very quickly. Comments from councillors? We have 2 quotes to consider. Removal of the bridge and backfill with a tarmac path. The quote for that one, grand total of 9,744, but don't forget the 20% VAT, so that brings it to 8,120. We can claim the VAT back. Removal of the bridge and a new bridge built in place sort of form of timber, so it's like for like preference. 5,976. Claim back the VAT brings it to 4,980 for the preferred like for like compared to the tarmac pipe, which is 8,120. So there are 2 quotes.
Chair, can I just mention that we did only approach one company at the time, and we would obviously, not rely on just the one quote. We would go out for some more quotes.
That was just giving us an idea of ballpark. Councillor Ranger, here behind that.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to comment about Ada quotes in terms of maybe we need to get 1 or 2 others. So thank you, Liz, for that. But yeah, I'm in favour of like for like, because the other bridges in the area are similar in terms of structure and style, as far as I can recall, unless I've missed a particular bridge. But and I think I was quite surprised at the difference in pricing, by the way, between the 2. It's about 4,000.
About 4,000
yeah, as well. And that's in theory the cost of another bridge. So that's the way I would look at it. So I would be more in favour of a replacement like for like, and not just because it's aesthetically in terms of the keeping and everything else, but also on the basis that obviously HCC have made a recommendation. It doesn't mean to say we have to be guided by it, but it's certainly a pretty strong steer. So my thinking would be that we're doing like for like.
Okay. Just to inform council that I've spoken to the RFO, and yes, we can find funding for it. Just as Councillor Vickers.
Can I ask, because there was such a lot of debate when I brought this to the agenda about the who owns it. So now we're going to put it in. Are we claiming ownership of it and upkeep of it?
Yes, if we put it in, we're going to
maintain it and look after it.
Yeah.
Is that correct? Because that was what, when I bought it was whether we even owned it before or not. So we will sort of upkeep because I think that bridge has gone to rack and ruin because it hasn't been maintained or repaired.
A bit of a spongy bounce to it, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has very much got a spongy bounce to it. So I I just want to, so I guess if we do, as Councillor Ranger says, go for the cheaper option and the wooden structure, our grounds team will be able to maintain it so it has a longevity of life, rather than this other one that has just been left to.
I understand the benefits of tarmacking and piping. It lasts longer.
It does, yeah.
But also, as Councillor Ranger said, in yourself, having a wooden bridge feels better for the village, perhaps. I like those kind of appearances. Councillor Betts?
There's also the sense of sustainability of not having additional plastic piping.
Environmentally friendly.
That's the impact of that versus wood.
Mm-hmm.
Much rather wood.
Okay. May I have a proposal, please?
I propose that we go with the HUC guidance and like for like.
Are you happy with the quotes? If not, would you like to go out for further quotes? I think that wouldn't be a bad idea.
Of course,
Yes.
Yeah,
I think we need to.
I think we need to go and get at least one, if not two quotes, to compare that, the wooden quote, I can't remember which company it was, sorry.
Just for wooden, I
compare
think.
that one,
Yep.
and then would you need to bring that back to resolve that, or are you happy to go?
How quickly could we get quotes like that?
I don't know how long it takes to get these quotes these days, sorry.
It's probably going to
I'm
take.
conscious that it's a health and safety issue today.
Can't bring it to full council then too soon. Full council's 24th. We can't bring it to that, can we? Could you reckon we can get it in there? Okay.
We should get them by then.
Okay, so what we could do, we could go out for further quotes for a wooden bridge, to drop the tarmac, and then we can bring those quotes back to full council. Timescale fits rather than having to wait. If council is happy to do that, the decision will have to be made here.
Okay, with that. Is that nothing?
So I'll turn that into a proposal. I propose that we go and we seek further quotes for a like-for-like timber replacement bridge, and then we bring that back to full council to have a show of hands all in favour. Thank you. Liz, do we still have the tape up around it because of health and safety, any signs or anything?
On that bridge, no.
Do you think we should? I think we should.
But then that cuts access, doesn't it?
Yeah, okay. Right. Okay, thank you. Item 10 on the agenda is Bus Shelter Grant Scheme Community-Led Transport Grant. Hampshire County Council has been allocated funding through the Department of Transport Bus Services Improvement Plan, BSIP 2025-2026 bus grant. A portion of this funding has been designated to contribute towards the cost of replacing and refurbishing existing bus shelters for eligible parish councils. Funding is also available to support targeted marketing and publicity campaigns for existing local schemes, together with funds aiming to improve access to services. More information is supplied with the supporting documents. So this was put out so that we can apply for funding to revamp, improve some of our bus shelters that might need repair or maintenance. We also discussed perhaps bus shelters that didn't have any benching we could apply for, but all of ours do have purchasing benching, if you will. The condition of our bus shelters are pretty in good condition. Some of the plastic is showing signs of distortion, so we could perhaps apply for that. Other than that, I discussed it with Liz, and there's no criteria of which we could really go to. Nothing that meets for the funding, apart from if you wanted to look at some of the perspex glass and plastic, etc. Councillor Ranger?
It also refers to, unless I misunderstand it, it's not just bus shelter grant scheme, right? It's community-led transport grant.
That's the second part.
That's the
We'll
second part,
come
yeah.
on to that.
Yeah.
We'll come on to that.
Oh, okay.
That's
So
okay,
Yeah, of course. That's the second part.
So that's the second part. So are we talking just bus shelters, or are we talking community?
So the second part is the 500. You're referring now to the £500 community-led transport scheme.
Yeah.
Of those two options, which there are two, I was interested in perhaps A rather than B. I don't think we've put the criteria for B, so of the two it would be option A, if we're now looking at that as well. So that is a community-led transport grant scheme, publicity funding for existing services available to support communities to publicise existing transport services that are currently unused or not well known to increase their usage. So publicity campaigns, posters or services, you know.
Sorry.
Councillor Ranger?
So I think that's where I was going. I think we should look to do a better job as a whole to advertise the fact that we have the community bus facility, because there's several people, including Councillor Stallard actually, Councillor Patricia Stallard, sorry, mentioned it only passing last week in terms of maybe there's either the new members of the Denby Village may not be aware. So I think constant advertising, it's available, etc., etc. I mean, people don't know where it picks people up, drops people off, etc., etc. So I think there is a message that needs to be delivered to the community on a relatively regular basis. Whether or not that sort of grant allows that sort of marketing, I don't know. But I think that there needs to be something along those lines.
I was thinking perhaps if council's at the same mindset, perhaps we could apply for the 15,000 grant for the bus shelter, because there are a few bus shelters that are showing signs of. Hang on, let's see if I can bring up the TV. Right. A couple of them have got graffiti on, the glass is starting to frost over. So perhaps we could apply to see if we can have some of the facial improved, revamped. And part two, the £500. I also.
The plastic has got a bit opaque.
Yeah, that's just one that we did, but I know there's a couple perhaps we could look at. So if council's of the mindset, I would perhaps look at applying for that grant for improvements to the facials of some of the bus shelters, and then perhaps also apply for the £500 option A to help promote publicity, community bus, etc. I won't make it into a proposal yet, but Councillor Ranger?
Agree, Chair, but would we not need to think about how we apply it on the basis that maybe not all bus shelters need to be refurbed or revamped, and therefore it would be bus shelter 1 is perfect, but bus shelter 2 or the one opposite Glassball, the wooden one, for example, doesn't need perspex. It may just need a new side or something. I don't know, right? I mean, have we had an audit of our bus shelters to understand which ones are poor and which ones are average and which ones are going to live? I don't know whether we need to do something, but I would like to see a little bit more science before we just apply for a chunk of cash accordingly, that's all. So that we've got a trail that we're comfortable with.
The closing date is the 28th of February, so we've got a couple of weeks. Councillor Vickers?
Could I ask how many bus shelters we have in the village?
No?
Yeah, it's about that, isn't it?
I think so.
13. Is that what you-
Yeah. We only have one.
Could somebody do a sort of drive around and just to see? Sorry, would that come to you?
No.
With the assistance of the grounds team.
Yeah. Sorry,
So I was
that's
gonna-
just an extra task. But
That's fine.
Just I agree with Councillor Ranger, there's no point sort of asking for money that we're not going to use and replacing things that, that we're not going to. But if we could do a quick audit of them, and then, it might be that over half need it, or there might only be a few.
So I propose that we only apply for the bus shelters that need maintenance to or improvements, and to get that number, perhaps I can ask if Sam perhaps go around the village with myself, and we mark down the ones that we believe qualify to tick that box, and at the same time we apply for the £500 to help promote the campaign services, information, etc. If council is happy with that.
Yeah, I agree.
Have a seconder, Councillor Ranger. All in favour, show of hands. It's unanimous. Thank you. Okay. Item 11, the working party for roundabouts and planters in the village. Following a meeting with Councillor Clay, Heads Groundsman and the committee clerk, suggestions on how the working party could work for the Highways and General Purpose Committee to consider and discuss. Again, information included with the supporting documents. So So the working party for the planters, yeah, myself, Sam and Liz met and we discussed some of the criteria, the key points that would have been involved in setting this up. Have you all had a chance to quickly read? Yeah. So looking at all those key points, so the report, this shows the key points of how it would work and be coordinated. Obviously going forward, terms of reference would need to be set up, etc. What's council's feeling so far? Something you're really interested in? Yeah? I'm very interested in, I'm all up for it. But I want to know if other councillors are as well. Yeah? So, Councillor Betts?
It's one of my favourite things is seeing all our planters and they feel
Brilliant, brilliant.
what we've done, so absolutely.
I love the welcome to
Yeah,
the
really
meeting.
well done. Oh, thank you. Yeah.
I like the welcome to the meeting.
I like that.
I think it's really nice.
Yeah. So, yeah, we've been to a few other villages around and they've got raised angles, welcome to wherever. And I thought if we do something similar, welcome to Denmead or just Denmead.
It'd be nice to do something on the harvest roundabout side.
Okay. But these are just some of the things that we could achieve. So I propose that we look into this further and we explore. Yeah?
You're not allowed to do welcome to Denmead. I always won't allow it.
All right.
Oh, distraction.
Yeah.
That's
That's why there's just the signs. Yeah.
Okay. Right.
We'll have to look into how everyone else has got away.
Let's look at what else we can look at what else we can do. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. So is council happy to set up this working party to move forward and to explore this? Yeah. Okay. Can I have a show of hands all in favour, please? That's unanimous. Thank you. Councillor Betts, it looks like you've just signed yourself up. Yeah. Okay, good. Item 12 on the agenda is letters to Heaven postbox. A postbox has been sourced, information with supporting documents. So some councillors might remember before that we brought this back in 2025 and we looked at doing the letters to Heaven postbox, just where loved ones or bereaved ones can attend the graveyard and write letters and post them into a box, of which then will be collected on a regular basis by our committee clerk, that would be Liz, of which then will be shredded and composted. Items that and staples, metallic would obviously be removed. Liz would be the solely one in charge of that, so we're keeping that kind of GDPR guidance, we're protecting ourselves against that. We looked into risk assessments, but we don't need one, I believe. We went to look at other surrounding crematoriums, graveyards, the Oaks, etc. And we spoke to them. It's not needed. So it's pretty much a case of sourcing the pillar box if councillors are happy to, and then putting it in place. Councillor Ranger.
Do you have a location specifically marked for the post box as a matter of interest?
No. So we've got an idea, haven't we? If council is of the mindset to proceed, I was going to suggest perhaps myself, Councillor Stallard, and the committee clerk go find the location.
Good.
And Liz, you're going to say? Okay.
Chair, well, we discussed on Friday, didn't we, that as you go into the car park for the burial ground and it sweeps round, there's the grass verge, and it'd probably be best to go on there, because then it's in full view as people come in, people are going to know it's there, and hopefully, you know, people will, as they see it, they will start to use it.
And we also talked about ways of how we could promote it, social media. We start putting it out there so that people are aware that this box exists, what its purpose is, etc. Councillor Vickers?
Can I ask about the frequency in which it will be sort of emptied?
Each one has their different, but yeah, so we went, go on Liz.
Yeah.
Different ones do it different frequencies, so let's go on.
Chair, I think it depends really. We need to see how it goes and how much it's used. You know, if we find that every couple of weeks it's getting full up, so we'll just have to see how it goes. It may be that it'll be once a month. It may be that we'll need to do it more often.
And you'll take ownership of checking?
Yes, that's fine, because I go over to the burial ground regularly to do checks. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's brilliant.
Yeah, you'll be the
Thanks,
responsible.
Yeah.
Okay, so and we've got an example here. 256.99. We went to B&Q, Robert Diaz. How does council feel? Are we happy to accept?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I propose that we accept
Purchase.
the purchase of Letters to Heaven box. Myself, Councillor Stellard and Liz attend the graveyard to get their location finalised. And then we ask their heads groundsman when it arrives to put it in place. And that we advertise on social media perhaps and publicise of its existence and its purpose.
Can I ask, is there going to be a little rationale of what it's for? Are you going to put a little plaque
Yeah,
there
we've got a
with
little stand, a little,
little thing that says that?
just sits
I think
next
I've
to it.
read something.
I think they come to it, yeah, they come, it just sits next to it, so, yeah. Okay, can I have a seconder for that proposal to go ahead? Councillor Stellard, of course. Of course. A show of hands, all in favour? That's unanimous, thank you. Okay, item 13, Hambledon Road repairs. Councillor Clay to provide a short report on the current condition of Hambledon Road and including past history of parish council to consider raising with Hampshire Highways for consideration to discuss and determine action. So, let me just bring this up. Get rid of the bus stop now, shall we? So I'm sure you. I don't know why I'm showing you all these photos, but you know what? Let's have a little look, shall we? Some of the worst defects. So me and Councillor Stallard have recently walked to the village to get ourselves a pint of milk, and on the way, we've discovered over 152 defects. Defects, as from what we went on to their website, a pothole, a road defects, their classification is different. So we tried to follow their guidelines of what a defect was. So a few years ago, they did resurface Hambledon Road in two sections leading towards Waterville, just below Dando Road as you head to Waterville, and this is the starting section. So heading towards the village, we come across all these defects, potholes, some of which are outside the school, which are trip hazards for kids, users, grown-up, etc., etc. That's the biggest one. That one is outside. My foot disappeared in that, and it is wet. That one is just outside Barnard's, and it's good to see that they've come out and they put brackets around it. But down here, they've just left all the brilliant, isn't it? Furthermore, their road perhaps is one of the worst ones. It's right on a junction, so obviously if someone tries to speed out of a junction and they will skid it, they're going to break up the road even further. It's a turning point, and those chipping points could hit pedestrians perhaps, that kind of thing. So that's some of the photos. Got my little... Let's open this up. Sorry I never circulated it, but there's a little bit of a background. Hambledon Road repairs. In early 2020, the council received a response from Hampshire County Council following concerns we had raised about the repairs carried out using their Dragon Patcher road repairer. Hampshire County Council Highways managers subsequently arranged several dates for an on-site inspection and walkthrough of Hambledon Road. This inspection was attended by Councillor Clay, Stallard, and then Councillor Rusbridger at the time, along with Hampshire County Council's Richard Burton. During the visit, Mr Burton advised that Hambledon Road had exceeded its expected lifespan, and at the time he believed qualified for a full resurfacing. 6 years later, the condition of the road has continued to deteriorate and now poses a significant safety risk to all users. Recently, as I said just a moment ago, Hambledon Road has undergone a full resurfacing from Dando Road and Hambledon Road towards Waterville, delivered in two phases. Myself and Councillor Stallard has walked some of the length, and that's where we counted 152 defects. So I brought this to council really because I'd like to have council's support perhaps in moving forward and raising these concerns with Hampshire as we did a few years ago and see if we can continue where we left off and make them aware that we're not happy with the road concessions. It raises major health and safety concerns outside of schools, turning junctions, etc. Yeah, I just really want to see what council feel about backing that motion to move forward. Councillor Ranger?
Yeah, I obviously would support the idea of raising it with the relevant authorities. My other comment to add that I haven't heard from you, Chair, is that even the recent repairs have deteriorated. So even their emergency repairs, and I know there's been a lot of social media from Hampshire County Council downwards in terms of the extra road gangs, the extra machinery, etc. But I mean, only recently, in fact 2 weeks ago, actually chatting to one of the work gangs on the road as I was walking past, and he said almost the exact words were, "I'll be surprised if I'm not back here in 3 months on the same bit." So even though it's a patch, great, well done, great. However, can we have a better patch? So I would think if we're going to communicate something, which I would concur with, then I think we need to make sure it's not just how bad they are, but also how bad potentially. Now I know there's weather conditions, etc., etc. However, if some parts of the organised of the world, the country can do it, then I don't see why Hampshire can't. So I would definitely support a strongly worded letter accordingly, but also about the quality of the repairs.
Yeah, so the repairs are really what started this.
Yeah.
Back in 2020, I think it was myself and Ian, we did a Zoom meeting, I think, with Rich to begin with, and that went back and forth for a while. We eventually got him out on site, which is when he told us it's well overdue, you qualify. And he admitted, which is why I took a photo today, because I recognised it, that the problem with repairs is there's two types of repair. There's patch, or there's proper repair, where they seal it. And if they seal a repair, it lasts longer, it stops the elements, the water, etc., where these were just repairs, so they break up a lot easier. So I understand where you say sometimes the repairs break up easier, but that's all dependent on the type of repair. So yeah, I think we need to go back to highways or start that conversation with them again and see if we can move forward. Councillor Betts.
Yeah, so fully agree with that. I think we need a strongly worded letter, but there's also the issue with the popular one. If you report, I believe this is correct, if you report a pothole and then something happens, there's an issue with a car, you can later have claim over the
So, yep, so
we have like pothole watch, I can't remember the name of the app or whatever it is.
So this one here, the one, so once it has brackets around it, that means someone from Hampshire Highways has been out and they've noted it. So a claim can then be submitted if a vehicle or because it's knowledge to them. But without that, you can't claim because they don't know it's there. Is their argument?
In order to get that, they have to be reported.
Yeah.
So maybe it's worth social media.
That's what I was going to come. Yeah, could do that. Yeah. Councillor Vickers.
I was in Denley Times because I did my tyre duty quite hard along the Hampton Road, and they were saying that Denley Tire were actually encouraging people because it's just.
I think I took one outside theirs as well. Denley Tire. It's breaking up.
It is just really getting extreme. So I think it might be useful to attach some of the photographs of in the strongly worded communication because I think but equally I agree that we need Councillor Betts, I think people need to start reporting and possibly claiming because actually the state is really bad and that will maybe ignite their desire to come out and look and consider their options specifically like Councillor Ranger says.
I would like to use some of the
repairs.
Yeah, I'd like to use some of the background history of what we had before, where Richard kind of said you qualify for a road surface. Some of you may have seen Widley's up near Widley. They've currently had road repairs, and they said they had the worst road in Hampshire. I think we could challenge them perhaps for that. Do you know what? I really think we can. And they only got patchwork.
It was pretty bad, but yeah,
is it?
it's on the
So I propose that we go, that we escalate this strongly worded letter, and that we add supporting documents like photographs, and perhaps we involve some of the past conversations we've had with Highways and remind them of the progress we were making and perhaps see if they can take it from there. And that we also put this out on social media, make our residents and community aware that they can also report the issues to help promote the awareness to Hampshire County Council that we are in need of perhaps a full resurface. I'll stop just there, Councillor. It is.
Chair, I was just going to say that if we put it out on social media, we can actually put the link to the Highways website.
These apps and stuff. So yeah, I was going to say perhaps we can involve. Yeah. Councillor Vickers.
I was only just going to say, is there any way we can sort of put the extracts of what our residents say within the letter?
No, that's up to them to submit their own. Otherwise, we open ourselves up to everyone.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's direct them to their own. Yeah, let's direct them to.
to
Yeah. So yeah, so we can put all this out on social media. Yeah. So that would be my proposal. Give this a go. Councillor Berry, yeah. Excellent. Okay. Can I have a show of hands? All those in favour? Then it's unanimous. Thank you. Okay. Item 14, sustainable travel support. A meeting was held on Wednesday the 28th of January 2026, led by Anna Heron, the Sustainable Travel Officer for Winchester, and attended by members of the Denmead community. Various projects were discussed. The group was asked to choose 4 projects to consider in a greater detail. The projects chosen were Sustainable Travel Guide website, promoting community buses, a travel survey, cycle confidence training. A report will follow from Anna Heron, and that is just to note. But I would just add, it was a good session, wasn't it? We all met here, different community groups. Newlands joined us. We had Denmead Neighbourhood Watch, the DVA, Scouts, Swings and Things, and it's how we can help support people in the community with travel.
The voluntary care group who do the voluntary care group who do the community buses, they were represented.
Yep. Yeah. What was the chap's name here again? It was
Richard Ayres.
Richard. She goes, right, thanks. Yeah, so it was well received. So looking forward to her report to see how we can push that out.
Chair, the report, I've emailed it out today. It's arrived, so I've emailed it out today.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. Okay. Lovely. And that's just a note. Okay, so on to item 15, which is defibrillator at South Downs Funeral Services. The defibrillator outside South Downs Services was used on the 29th of December 2025. This is just a note, but the pads have been replaced and it is ready for use again.
Do we know whether it was used successfully?
Don't know.
No, I just asked.
Just to know, we have had uses of our defibrillators in the village before and they have been successful. Yes.
Can we just please make sure that the next article of the Denmead scene for the next edition does have the defib map, please?
Yeah, that's on. That's something we've tried to do before, Council. So we can perhaps do that next time. Yes. All right. That's brilliant. We get together and do a map or something.
I think it's, sorry, I've just been on a recent First Records and they pressed home the fact that you have, it would be good to the community to know that 999 is the key to opening up that defibrillator. I think a lot of people rush to the defibrillator and think that they can smash it and open it. That isn't the case. The 999 call has to go in and then they will tell you exactly where the defibrillator is and the key code for that to defibrillator. And that was something that was really pressed home at the training, that people run to the defibrillator that they know is local to that scene, but actually they waste time because they don't know how to get into it. And that was really pressed home.
On topic, but just slightly off, there are groups around the village that hold regular Heart Start or first aid courses. The DVA do one, also the War Memorial, they do their Heart Start. Perhaps it might be worth council considering perhaps doing a first aid training evening somewhere to help promote our defibs. Something to consider perhaps. Not right now, but you never know. That might help promote awareness of using the machines where they are, confidence. So, perhaps. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Item 16 on the agenda is the burial grounds. 16.1 is applications. To note the list of applications since the last committee meeting. That's just a note, seen them. 16.2, the deterioration of the pathway service in Northfield at the burial ground. We have been advised by the contractor that the problem we are faced with at the moment is the very wet weather and the possibility of the frost which will affect the concrete tarmac. If it is laid now, it is likely to be early spring before the contractor feels the conditions are right for the work to be undertaken. To note, and that's just to replace the footpath in the burial ground. 16.3 is the additional cremation plots at the burial ground. The contractor who constructed the last 2 new rows of cremation plots in the Northfield has been located and contacted the work to be scheduled for the spring once the quotation has been received and agreed by committee. And to note, 16.4 is correspondence received from Zurich Insurance reference 2050 78 66 29. The claim is now closed. Okay, on to 16.5 is the risk assessment of the burial ground. To review the proposed risk assessment for the burial ground to discuss and determine action. So we've all had a chance to see the risk assessment. So this is our opportunity to add, amend, change. I added, sorry Liz.
Sorry Chair, could I just mention that I noticed that we hadn't got a risk assessment for the burial ground, so that's why I took the step to put one together.
Thank you. Do councillors want to change, amend? Are they happy with it? Any comments for the risk assessment we have?
Is there any value just, and I'm sure Liz may have already done this, but is there any value in just socialising the draft risk assessment with Mr Southdowns and or any other regular user of the burial ground to get their views? I don't know, but I mean, I'm just asking.
No.
I know it's our risk assessment, but I mean, they must have their own risk assessment, is my point, and therefore it would be
We don't see theirs.
different if we didn't have a different. It'd be weird if we had a different one to them. That's all. Just a thought.
Chair, recently when we've talked about other things to do with the burial grounds, and we have involved one of our local funeral directors, I was advised by district councillor that we shouldn't just be involving one funeral director. If we're going to ask the opinion of one, then we should be going out to all of them. So I think that...
Okay.
Let's keep it in-house as our own. Yeah, that's fine. Any additions, changes? Are our council happy with the risk assessment as it stands?
Good.
Yeah.
I think it's a very full
Yeah.
information.
Okay. I propose then that we adopt and we agree with the risk assessment as it stands.
Second.
Seconded by Councillor Starr. Can I have a show of hands all in favour? Thank you. And I'd also like it noted, thank you Liz for putting the hard work and time into producing such a risk assessment. Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks Liz. Okay, 16.6, the memorials for cremation plots. Inquiries have been received about whether the parish council will allow desktop memorials alongside flat cremation plaques. An alternative type of cremation plot was brought to the last committee meeting but not discussed. These are where smaller headstones are erected and up to 4 cremation caskets can be interred, saving on valuable space. They have been proved to be very popular at Warblington Cemetery. Liz, do you want to give us a little bit of...
Yes, Chair. First of all, the desktop sloping memorials, I have to hold my hand up and say that I agreed a couple, not being aware that a couple of years ago the council decided that we wouldn't have them in the burial ground, and one of the stonemasons got onto the fact that we had agreed some and contacted me and, you know, basically said, you know, you've agreed this, we've been told we can't have them, we've turned people down. So as far as the 2 that we have got, the first one was agreed, and then when somebody else approached, I did keep it to the plot next to it so that they do match. But we've had a discussion, haven't we? We went over to the memorial grounds, and as we're going to be putting in another couple of rows of cremation plots, we did discuss that maybe they are quite popular. Maybe we, being conscious of how they look, how they match up, maybe we could agree some.
So, so they are, just to let you know. So if you look at the graveyard, at the moment, the current desktops are at the... Oh, haven't you got a photo? You've got it? Oh, you've got it, brilliant. I just haven't got it on my pack. So Councillor Betsy, if you know what it is.
The question was just why were they disallowed previously? Was there a strong rationale? Is there something wrong? Because I cannot think of a reason they would prohibit them.
Yeah. At this time, no.
Okay,
No.
fine, in which case, like, there's obviously nothing we're missing, so let's just, I would propose we allow it.
So I had an opinion perhaps that if we do look at a mindset of agreeing to allow desktops, perhaps we only allowed end row desktops so that we follow suit of what have already been put in. Yeah, so there's currently you've got a row and you've got two at the ends where they've been put in place. So why don't we just allow end row desktops? Otherwise it will start to look patchwork quilt, in my opinion.
Definitely don't want a patchwork quilt.
So
Are all the desktops currently there at the ends now?
Yes.
Yeah.
and in the middle there's
In
nothing.
that case,
So-
I would support that.
Yeah, so so if debate has finished, I would propose that we do allow desktops, desktop cremation plots, but only
Memorials.
that memorials, but be end rows only,
Seconded.
so that the middle remains.
Can I ask, are we going to promote that? Or are we going to, how is that going to?
Chair, I think that basically, if I let the stonemasons know that they will be available.
They let them know what we
Because you'll
do.
be filter of it, if there's a, I don't know if there's a rush of desktop requests and we haven't got the, as we've only agreed the ends, I just wondered how we're going to
Well, Chair,
manage that.
at the moment we can't agree them because we haven't got the new cremation plots in place, so there is no scope to agree them. So the stonemasons would need to understand that. But I think, are you happy to move on to the next part of the agenda
Yes.
item? So when Councillor Ranger and I went over to the burial ground last year with Paul Bapty, he talked to us about some half headstones. So there was a photograph that I took at Wobblington. So instead of being a full headstone, they're about this high, and you can get 4 cremation caskets in. So I went over to Wobblington to have a look and spoke to some of the guys there, and they said that they are very popular. So I think, well, we've talked about where we might put them, and if you go to the north field from the car park, if you look down, you'll notice the hedge down the side. You've got a path, and then there's a gap about this big of lawn, and we discussed that we could put a road down there, and it would we would get quite a lot in, and I think families would probably be interested in them because if they can get 4 cremation caskets in them, I think they would be quite popular.
Paul, he suggested perhaps 2, but we felt perhaps just 1 would give enough space to work behind for the hedge and in front. Yeah, otherwise it would be too.
I think just to clarify what Chair is saying, that Paul suggested that along the grass verge we had 2 headstones, 2 of the small headstones. Yes, one would be kind of behind the other one, but we felt that it would be too cramped. That it would be better just to have a row going down. If the committee feel it would be a good thing to look into.
I think we're all of the same mindset, are we? So I'd like to make that into proposals that we accept the recommendation and that the desktops be end row only at this time.
On the new cremation plots.
Yes, on the new cremation plots. Oh, yes, yeah, the new ones along the back. Seconded by Councillor Ranger. Can I have a show of hands all in favour? That's unanimous. Thank you.
And then the proposal for the alternative type of cremation plots.
Yeah, so can I have a councillor like to make a proposal for the alternative cremation plots?
Yeah, I think
Memorials.
based on Liz's update and the meeting that we had on site with Paul, then I would propose that we adopt these half headstones
Along the back of the north,
boundary
yeah.
next to the
Just
hedgerow.
one row.
One row, not two. 'Cause I think it's an ideal opportunity for the families to think about how they pay their respects to their loved ones accordingly in a nice area there. So yeah, that's my proposal.
Do I have a seconder for that, please? Councillor Stallard? Yep, show of hands, all in favour? Thank you. Item 17 is social media. To discuss and determine action on what content could be added to the Parish Council social media. I have two. I have the Hamilton Road repairs. I think we can put, as we discussed earlier, raising awareness and how people can report. Perhaps we can put some photos of the road up. I can send you some as well. And we can inform the residents that we are hopefully going to start campaigning to get the road done. Moving in the right direction. Obviously the letters to heaven. Any other items for social media from tonight? Speed watch, yes.
And you may want to just, I know it's relatively local, but even perhaps it's not worth it. I was going to say the roundabout working party stuff.
We can speak. Yeah. I think now's the. Yeah, we can do that now. Now that we've had tonight's meeting, we can put it out to the public that we're thinking of doing this. Can you put your name forward?
The Horticultural Society all of a sudden.
What about the sustainability grants? So the public know that we're going to sort of
I don't
like,
think we need to do that
I
now.
don't think we have enough data yet.
Maybe once they're granted.
okay,
Yeah.
what's the
Yeah, we might not get anything.
yeah, we might not.
Yes.
Yeah,
Chair, and the defibrillator map.
Oh
And
yes.
some more information.
Yes,
as Christine discussed.
let's start doing that. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, just getting that was what was pushed at my first day course. So we're very
Yeah.
clear about it.
There's apps, etc., that accompany maps. So we really must sit down. We did a map years ago for council, and that's now probably outdated because we were going to do it and
The defib
it's happened.
Yeah.
We did a proper map for the Denmead
It
scene.
needs to go in.
So-
But the key
We
point
can
is
update that.
call 999 and they will direct you to
Well, there's
your
nothing-
nearest
Mm.
defibrillator and the code for
Yeah.
that defibrillator. They will have different ones.
I mean,
I didn't realise. I thought you just
yeah.
punched in 1, 2, 3, 4 or something, and you could do anything. You
Maybe
could
we don't wait for the next
specifically
day.
tasked.
I mean, maybe we don't wait for the next Denmead scene anyway. We stick it on one of the parish website.
You can't repeat it enough.
No.
I
No.
think it's a key thing that
Something
they
that you can't over-communicate on.
We need to perhaps put them there. at some
Parish,
point. Where are we gonna-
community webpage.
Do we need to?
when do we get a map for a defibrillator? We can put it at some of our bus shelters. Yeah, let's see
More
what
people
the
know
criteria
about
for doing that is.
where they are, how they use it, etc. the better.
So I've just asked Liz to go away, and perhaps once we get our map sorted, because at the moment our agendas, our council, they go at bus stations, you've got the lamppost. I think we should put a map at each bus shelter, perhaps. For example. Liz, go on. I've said something. That was a no, Sue. No, you can't do that. Go on.
Chair,
Go on.
we've just been out, the grounds team have been out with me putting the new schedules up for the committee meetings,
Yeah.
and I have to say it was a nightmare because I took it upon myself last year not to laminate them because I thought what a waste of plastic,
The
but we
water
had
gets
a
in.
heck of a job to get them out.
Oh.
So we've got all new laminated ones in there now, so there isn't any room
There's
to
no
put any
room.
more information, I'm afraid. Sorry.
Okay, all right. Any other items? Right. Sorry?
Notice the ones we've got.
Yes, we've got council notice, non-public ones, so I'm sure we can find in our closed ones room to put up some defib maps, etc.
So do we agree or disagree that the defib map and process could actually be advertised on the parish website as well as the community page?
Yeah, is Councillor Stannard happy to revisit the map that we once did, update it, and we'll coordinate with Liz on this? Go on.
Thank you, Councillor Starr.
Chair, I just wanted to mention that we actually only owe 4 defibrillators,
Yeah.
and Francis and I have put a new map together. Are we just going to include the 4 defibrillators that are ours, or are we
No.
going to include the ones, because
I don't care who owns it, if I need one.
the lady from the War Memorial put something in one of the parish magazines, didn't she?
Yes, yeah, so I'm in contact with them,
Okay.
Kathy Kane and...
So we can maybe liaise with them.
Yes,
Yeah.
That's not a lot.
That's the time. I don't know why that went up. Okay, no more items? No, that's fine. And item 18 is matters for the next agenda. To receive any matters for the next agenda from anybody? I think we can put that one on there.
Yes.
No? I think we've just done it. Yeah, that's fine. Done. Closed. Meeting closed. No. So yeah, the map for the defibrillator.